Hi, and welcome to part 5 of an 11-part series on the ninth grade opportunity. We've been learning that if you properly transition your freshmen into high school, then you can transform an entire school from the bottom up. Today in part 5, we'll be looking at the topic of learning skills. Now we've been looking at this bubble chart for the last few sections of this video series, and we've said that in the middle you have the most important part, a team of teachers meeting together. Everything else hinges off of that. Now these other bubbles along the outside, these are the important and essential components of a successful freshman transition program, and today what we'll look at is the topic of learning skills. Now it comes to most educators' minds when they hear learning skills or things like diagramming sentences, factoring equations, using a map. However, these are just sort of the superficial surface skills. Let me give you a medical analogy to explain what I mean. If you went to a doctor and you had some pain, and when the doctor examined you, they found that you had a tumor deep inside of you, you would want the doctor to get rid of the tumor, to cut it out, to remove it, not just give you medication to numb the pain. Things like diagramming sentences, these are the X's and O's of learning content. They're actually not that hard to teach if what's deep inside is right. But the problem with our students lies deep inside. They have a tumor that needs to be removed. It's their attitudes, their beliefs, their outlook on life and on themselves. We've addressed that earlier in one of the earlier segments of this video series. We want to talk about it again today. As teachers, we must get deep inside, get under the hood, and help kids think right, look at life right, so that they can learn. This is what we mean by learning skills. So let's take a look at them, and I want to start with another analogy here first, an image for you. Picture the cartoon snowball that gets moving down the hill real small, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as it moves down the hill, and it finally knocks over buildings, and it's huge. We want to get the snowball moving in the right direction for these kids. Get the snowball rolling. See, many of them are lacking any experience from their own lives at home of seeing people who really know how to succeed. And so we need to give them images that get the snowball rolling. We won't solve all their problems and perfectly perfect them in their freshman year, but we can get the snowball rolling. Now here are just a few of the examples, and if you contact us, we can speak with you at much greater length about more of these. We need to teach kids about failure. They're afraid to fail, so that they don't even try. We need to get them a book like Bob Moore's You Can Be President or Anything Else, with stories of people like Abraham Lincoln who fail, but all that failure is what eventually leads to them succeeding. We need kids to not be afraid to fail, but to realize that failure is an event that happens along the path to success. We need to teach kids, we need to teach them about the power they have. Their choices can impact their lives. Life is not a game of chance. They think that maybe wherever they were born or what their last name is, the chances of their life are what determines their success. It's really their choices. They have power in their lives, and we need to teach them this because they don't see this necessarily in their homes. Ask kids, if a teacher doesn't like you, can you do anything about it? The kids with good grades will say, sure, you can brown nose or something like that. And the other kids will say, nothing you can do about it. Teach them then to slant. Slant stands for sit up, lean forward, act interested. You don't have to be interested, just act that way. Nod, the subtle little nod that says you agree, and track the teacher with your eyes. Watch the teacher as the teacher moves. If a student will slant a teacher for 2 weeks, that student can make a teacher like them. That's power. We need to give them tools so that they can have power in their lives. Victim statements. Now, many kids think a victim statement is an excuse, and it is, but it's more than that. It's giving power in your life to something else. It's surrendering power, say, to a printer because your printer ran out of ink. How are you going to overcome that? We need to teach kids to not be victims, and when they make victim statements, we need to call them on it so they can begin to understand that they don't want to be a victim. They need to rise above the circumstances of their lives. We can also teach kids about the Pyramid of Success by John Wooden. John Wooden was a legendary coach of UCLA basketball, and we'd encourage you to go to coachwooden.com. But if we're going to teach kids about success, we need to give them a path, a roadmap to success. And this Pyramid of Success is a wonderful roadmap. Teach the kids about the blocks and what they mean and how they can become real in their own lives. And let the kids examine their own lives in relation to this pyramid. This gives them a roadmap to become successful learners. We're Scott Habib and Ray Moore, Solutions, etc. Please feel free to contact us. We look forward to speaking with you more about freshman transition.